There's a little secret trap door into success in the marketplace today. And to open this trap door, it requires a different approach and a different way of thinking. And these approaches have been used for thousands of years. When I hear the stories of any really successful entrepreneur or business owner, I hear it every time. It's the same story every time. And we have a belief in our society now, in the modern era, that they're special people, and that top 0.0001%, the legends in the society, are doing special things and have special talent, and the top 1% have special talent, and the top 4% have special talent. And what I'll tell you about this is one thing: it's not true. It's not true. It's a belief system. As this belief system collapses into what's next, what's already come into the world, everything changes, and it changes overnight. The idea of the tipping point, the idea of the fulcrum, the idea of crossing the chasm is what's happening. And this always happens. History repeats itself, not in form, not in the form of the history, but in the underlying principles of history. That's the difference. It's easy to see when you stop and look. All you have to do is stop and look. How many people stop and look? Very few. Who can stop and look? Everybody. Everybody. Why don't we stop and look? There's a simple reason that's blocking most people's progress. And I would say 99% of the people in your market, and perhaps you, I don't know, are blocking your progress because of this reason. It's only one reason. It's being hypnotized. Hypnotized. You're hypnotizing yourself with the belief that you have limitations and that it is required that you act and live and think in a certain way, and that it is not possible for you to be like them. It's not possible. That's them, you're you, and the best you can do is follow them, and somehow it'll rub off. That's not true. It never has been. How to adapt your product for the modern age is what we're talking about. Who can do this? Everybody. What happens if everybody does this? The world changes immediately. Immediately. And what's old goes away. There's an opt-out immediately from what's old. And you know what's old? It's all this stuff we're exhausted by. It goes away. When people wake up to the simple idea you can do whatever you want. It's almost impossible for many people in our society to know this, to believe this. The belief system around I have to fit in, I have to work hard at this, even if I don't like it, and that if I don't, I will be alone, insecure, and broke, is absolutely swept over as binding immutable truth across large sectors of the entire global modern economy. It's this false belief that they control it and I have to live in that world. That's not true, and it's never been true, and it never will be true. Who is the prisoner and who creates the prison? We do, not them. There is no them. Doesn't exist. There's only me. There's only you. There's only us. Them, those people doing it to me doesn't exist because that doesn't exist as a principle. That is a fabrication of my own mind based on taking on a belief from a social structure that was constructed so I would fit in and support the society's demands. That's how it works. And it's always worked that way. Who can decide not to play that game? Anybody. You can decide today. You don't have to know how to do it. You don't have to know how you're going to succeed. You don't have to know anything. You just have to decide. Decision comes from exhaustion, typically. That's the pain. The pain is wake up, please. You don't have to do this anymore. You don't have to support this edifice of, we could just use a simple word. This edifice of what? Of stupid. Stupid. Getting in line behind stupid is a choice. If I see a nice looking store or storefront, and there's two restaurants there, and everybody's trying to get into this one restaurant over here because there's a big band playing and all these famous celebrities are dancing, in front. And they're like, come on in, come on in. You can be like us. Come on in, come on in, come on in. It's the special nightclub, the cool nightclub. Everyone's heads turn and they try, oh, everyone likes it over there. I'm going over there. And they can't get in. They're like, well, you can pay to stand in line. We'll take tickets. We'll sell tickets. You could, but you can't come in. But you can, we're inside. We're having a great time. We'll take your money though. And then there's another restaurant, which is awesome. Like hard won, a real chef. And someone who cared enough to create an incredible environment over a few years. And doesn't care about the Michelin star, but it's going to get it anyways. They're like, I can do this. I'm going to do whatever it takes and I'll get it. And then I don't care anymore because I did it. That's the restaurant everyone wants to eat in. Why are they lining up for the other one? Why? And that's the question you ask yourself. Why am I doing this? And I asked myself that question a couple of years ago. And that was after more years of asking the same question and recognizing, wow, I've been living my own way my whole life. Why was it so hard? It's not hard, but I made it hard because I held on to the idea I got to fit in somehow or I won't make any money. I believe that. It's not true, but I believe that. That's my friction. I created that. They, the buyers with the money that I need, the high quality avatar that I'm marketing to, that thinking, I need to get them to like me, know me, and trust me. So they give me money. So I got to figure out how to get into that nightclub and get in line, get them to see me in the audience. I am here. Will you let me in so I can have some money so I can pay for my house? And I know it's not true, but I'm still always holding on to it. I know it's not true. It's never been true. It doesn't line up with any stories in history that have ever been told that matter, ever. No one ever said in a historical biography or autobiography about greatness, well, I waited in line outside the fancy nightclub and they let me in, and then life was great and I got to be like them. And then I had all this money and I got to go on the famous stage with all the famous people and life's incredible. Now I belong. I was accepted and liked. Now I get to be part of it. Part of what? The society's structures. No one in history has ever been excited at the end by being accepted within a social environment that was created so the society functions through some historical belief that's not even true anymore about how life works. How to adapt your product for the modern age. This is what I do. I've been doing it for years now, but with the friction. Why has it been so hard? So I was doing it alone. I don't do it alone anymore. I got a group, and it works. Secret to life, the group. Thich Nhat Hanh, the Vietnamese Buddhist monk, amazing person, amazing, amazing. It's not complicated, all of this stuff. Thich Nhat Hanh does not write complicated books. He has the complicated books. I've read some of them. He gets the philosophy and the theology, and he gets it. It's very complex. It's not how he talks. When he started Plum Village in France, it was for the people, for him and his people, so they could be together. And then he fought against the war and tyranny, oppression. He knew Martin Luther King as an equal. Why? Because he focused on himself and his product. This is who I am. And he did the work. And then he created a community. And he even talks about it. He said, being away from my community was really hard. So I had to figure out how to be with my community when I had to travel around the world and do things to win the Nobel Peace Prize. He didn't win, but he was nominated. I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. That's how it works. Works the same for everybody. We look at these people as if they're special. We're all special, and we're all not special. There's no hierarchy. It's made up. There's no special talents either. I'm not good at anything. You don't have to be. That's a myth. That is what our society has believed for a long time now, especially with the technology age of the technology geniuses that create these massive, massive, massive companies and pull all this wealth out of the economy and basically return, what we see around us. And some of them give back. And they flow prosperity back into the ecosystem, and others don't. They don't give back. That's the problem. Who's suffering from that? Them. They're suffering from it. I'm not suffering from it anymore because I don't allow they to enter my life. I know what it is, and I don't believe in any of it. How to adapt your product for the modern age. Many business owners, entrepreneurs, and service providers feel this urgent, pressing desire. Urgent, pressing desire is not the same as vision opening inside in imagination. It is not the same. The urgent, pressing desire blocks your vision from opening. It blocks your progress, and it blocks your ability to get into the market in a powerful way. It's the opposite. And anyone who has ever succeeded in a big way knows this because that's how they do it. There is no other way to do it. Craving success, having a feeling of, I have to stand in line at the nightclub, pick me, pick me, pick me, does not lead to greatness or having a successful product in the marketplace at all. It leads to a crappy restaurant that some people will go to if you work really hard at getting them in the door. You don't have to do that. If you're doing that, you can stop. You can stop right now. That urgent, pressing desire is now to leap into the online economy now, because that's what's going on. Before it was something else. Become content creators and stay on the edge of change. That's the direction now. Gig economy is huge. Hustle culture around gigs to supplement income. Some people have 4 jobs to make, an extra 2-3 grand a month. You don't have to do it like that. There's a way to do it, though, in the same way, but without doing it like that. That's the difference. It's how are you doing it? That's a test. Oh, yeah, I'm going to try 4 or 5 different things and see what I like. As opposed to, oh my God, I don't have enough money. What am I going to do? It's completely different. One is using vision to adapt your product for the new world as it rapidly emerges across all domains, markets, and industries at rapid speed. The other is this urgent, pressing desire to be safe, secure, and have enough money to not have to worry about money. Think about that. People actually teach that and talk about it as if it matters and is true. It's not true. Why are they doing that? Think about it. It sells. I'm going to show you how much money I have. I'm going to show you how successful I've been. So you get in line at my nightclub and I'm going to sell you tickets. And some get in and some don't. And if you don't get in, you just keep working at it. And then eventually we'll let you in, me and my friends, because they bond together behind the scenes with these private marketing co-op groups it's called joint ventures. And they build products behind the scenes together, create this nightclub, make it attractive, put some nice lights up, and then say, okay, you guys can come in. If you play that game, you're not going to get what you want in your life. And the belief you have to play that game is the work. The belief that you have to do that is what it leads to the decision of, I'm not doing this anymore and I don't know how to stop. I don't know how to get out of it. That's what I did. Like, I can't do it anymore. And I stopped. I didn't stop trying things and running experiments. No, I did more of them. It was the opposite. I actually took more action, but it was more directed around, what do I want? Inner directed vision. You got to slow down and stop for a minute to get to that. And if you're looking around at the people who have the answers, that works for them, not you. Never has. Most focus on right now artificial intelligence, social media influence and content, or how to market to attract more higher quality opportunities. Those tactical plans are severed from vision reality. They don't work. Getting a mastering AI, mastering social media influence and content, mastering how to market to attract more higher quality opportunities won't work. It won't work because you're not in the nightclub. Worked for them. Or did it? I don't know, because I'm not in the nightclub and I'm not going. I won't even go. You invite me to a nightclub like that, my answer is see you later. And I'm not going in the diamond champagne room and overpaying for a bottle of crappy champagne so I get to be cool. Never did it, not doing it now, and have no interest in that. And if you're playing that game, and I'm using it by way of an analogy, so if you're going to go sit in the audience and buy tickets to get to be like them, you are hypnotized by what? By yourself. You're allowing yourself to not fulfill your potential. Why is this happening? Because marketing's powerful. Marketing, persuasion, tricking mind. Somebody who knows how to trick the mind can pull a lot of money out of the economy with these marketing persuasion programs. And it's legitimized now. That's the shift. This stuff was not legitimate before. People looked at it and said, you're a huckster, you're a fraud. And I'm not going. But we're in a society now where this is mainstreamed as if it's normal and it's legitimate. And it's not. And I get it, because the promise of that security, safety, and money gives one a feeling that I can take a break from the craziness in this society and the pressure of money and the pressure of, I want to get my real life and I want to have a vision too, like them. Why can't I have it? Right. So that stuff that, urgent pressing desire leads to action that leads to copying or imitating or looking for a solution or getting in line, and that leads nowhere. It's the frequency. It's your ability to notice, adjust, and calibrate, and then to be able to be with other people and connect with them for real, not try to sell them. Not you don't have to try to sell anybody. You just connect with them. Connect, ask yourself and them what's going on, and then share what you got and make sure it's good. And if it's not good yet, don't charge for it or don't charge too much. That's it. You don't need a special formula. Things are too complex as they are. You need a signature method or a signature formula. That's a corporate thing. You don't need that. They do that for a reason in big corporations. They're competing against each other and they've got plans and they got to show what's launching. And, there's all these people have to buy in and they need a consulting firm to come in. So they have cover. If it doesn't work, they can blame the consulting firm. They need a they. This is a game. Corporate executives are very good at playing this game. So are politicians. I'm going to set up my they, and the consulting firm, they know too. You don't have to do that. That's a pro game. Try this instead. So spend more time and speak more about why you, the product, and the company exists. Why does it exist? Why do you exist? Why does your product exist? And why are you doing this? Why does this happen? Simple. Just start talking about it more and focusing on it. If you start noticing that, as opposed to who has the answer that'll help me get in this special nightclub, you're going to get better results faster. And you know what happens? People show up. The right people show up because now they can see you. Before they couldn't see you because you're copying somebody else. And they're like, nah, I don't want to go to that nightclub. Or you're in the audience with everybody trying to get in the nightclub and you're just surrounded by a bunch of people who are not successful, unhappy, and pushing for results. And some of them have a lot of money, but they're not successful. Without a marketing agenda. So it's about the agenda. Remove the agenda. But you got to know it first. You got to be honest with yourself. What's my agenda? I want to go in the special nightclub. And I want to be in the champagne room. Me too. I get it. Now I don't. But I did. And then I was like, no, I don't want to go there. Or then I got there. And I'm like, I don't like these people. I got in those rooms. I've always been able to get in those rooms since I was very young. And then I realized I don't like these people. I want to be around real people that I cannot connect with without hidden agendas. Without a marketing agenda, recognize the power of who you are for and why you matter. Who you are for and why you matter in the world and to them too. That gets you out of the nightclub audience and overpaying for bad champagne. Release yourself from the, when you're 21, you try stuff. I went to nightclubs and I was like, why would anyone go there? You like dancing. If you like dancing, it makes sense. You go there to be cool. There's a certain moment where it's like you go there because you're a celebrity and you want to like take advantage of your celebrity. There's a certain moment where it's like, I'm done with this. I've done it. I was at the top nightclub in the world in the Inner Circle in Ibiza. In the world, Inner Circle. And I'm like, these people are crazy. True. Release yourself from the pressure to get traction and move forward faster using vision. Release yourself from that pressure to be popular and be in the inside circles. Just release yourself from the pressure of having to get the money. Even if you don't want the inside circle stuff, you want, like, if I just had enough money, that's pressure. You got to relieve that pressure. It's like the brain surgery. You relieve the pressure on the brain. I never understood that. It's the same with this. These things kind of repeat. It's interesting how it works. Release yourself from the pressure to get traction and move forward faster using vision. The secret weapon. What's the vision? It's my imagination. Now, if I'm going to stay in my imagination forever, the chocolate factory will never get built. The chocolate factory came to Willy Wonka because he figured out how to make chocolate really good. Did a lot of experiments, but he stayed in his imagination. That's why it was cool. Otherwise, it would have just been, he would have been number 5 in the market and scrambling all the time to make money against 1 and 2. You just get in line. Connect your personal transformation and business traction work for better results. This is the missing piece in the society right now. Is personal transformation is considered a thing over here, and business traction is considered a thing over here, and they don't meet. Now people are starting to bring them together, but they're bringing them together about to here. I've been in these groups. They bring them together about here. So it's like, oh yeah, we're sharing with each other. No, you're not. You have an agenda still. You're showing your best business face because you don't want people to know how screwed up it is. It's not screwed up. It's just truth. I've been in so many rooms since 17 years old, personal transformation rooms where people actually tell the truth. I know the difference immediately between somebody who's telling the truth and someone who's posing because they're afraid they'll be seen as somebody who's having issues. No one want to work with them or buy from them or hire them. They're there with an agenda, 5 steps to this outcome, and they've worked hard on it. And the personal transformation rooms typically are not for profit or inner transformation work, or it's very low cost. So people are doing that work now. That's the big change. That's mainstreamed in the society. When I was early with all these things for years and years. Now I'm seeing it everywhere. Like people are talking about stuff I was doing 20 years ago because I had to, because I was struggling so much. And now other people are doing it. And I'm like, integrate it with business traction. That's what we did. I have rooms for personal transformation. I have rooms for business traction, workshops that integrate business traction and personal transformation. So you actually can tell the truth. And I realized, wow, for some people, this is really hard. So we had to learn how to make it easier. So we've done it in tiers, like video game levels. Because Wheelo is like a video game. It's like being in a little video game like Roblox, but you can see everybody on video. You're sitting in this little cartoon thing. It's amazing. It's incredible technology. Remember, all the new technologies that take off feel like toys at first. Always. We're right there with this now. Know that success is inevitable rather than spend time talking and working on problems. I refuse to go to a group, mastermind group, elite group, any group where they're going to spend time talking and working on problems. That creates more problems. The more I talk and work on problems with other people, the more I get stuck in the problems. And then everybody's pushing out the door of let's go faster and be more productive. And how's it going for you? It does the opposite of what actually has always worked for successful people throughout history. Nobody does that. And if you look at even the mastermind group concept from Napoleon Hill, which isn't his, I mean, this has been in existence since thousands of years, but he brought this idea into the mainstream in the 1930s in a society that's really suffering, but ready for growth. We're right there now. Think about 1937 in the United States. It was ready. It was starting to happen. And then after the war, after World War II, boom, rocket ship. We're there right now. All people see is the chaos and the confusion. There's always chaos and confusion right before, but it's already coming. You can see that wave right now rising. I know because I'm in it, not by myself either. So I'm coming together every day with people who are there, but have suffered a lot the last few years, like me. Have really struggled because it's always harder before it takes off. And that's just how it works. But that does not happen when you spend time talking and working on your problems. I remember saying this a couple of years ago, and people get mad at me. I'd say, I don't hot seat. Hot seat's a bad idea in a mastermind room. Hot seat, we're going to work on your problem now. No, we're going to elevate ourselves together by saying it's not a problem. It's okay. What's your vision here? What are you trying to accomplish? What do you think the blockers and barriers are? What do you think will work for you? What have you tried? What's the next experiment you're going to run? Hey, why don't you try this brand room? Why don't you try this business finance room? Why don't you try this networking room, this marketing room, this energy room? Energy is important to manage. This relationships room to get your relationships squared away. We have all of that. And you don't know which one until you're there, and it'll be a different one the next week. That's why you need to be in it. So you can do these things, but not talk and work on your problems all the time. We used to call that wound worshiping in shadow work groups. I was in shadow work groups for a long time, and we would say, "You're wound worshiping, cut it out," to each other. I've heard it before. You've been saying this. I was in CEO groups with people wound worshiping for years. My partner doesn't listen to me. And someone would come in with a workshop of how to make a partnership work. And it was always about all the problems and how to solve the problems. And I'm like, this isn't working for anybody except the person who sold it. Because people are buying from pain. That's the problem. The secret to success in the modern age is to adapt timeless wisdom, ageless principles, and avoid getting lost in the digital noise. The digital noise economy is unbelievable because everybody's saying the same thing in a different way. And it's just like, I can't even follow it anymore. I'm in it, but I don't attach myself to it. These simple ideas, playbooks, and formulas that I'm talking about lead to faster success than holding on to old ideas, like the opinion quotes on digital media right now. I'm like, this is not true what you're saying. It's a marketing hook, and it's not true. I get why you're doing it, but it's not true. And you're confusing everyone who's following you. You have 5 million people following you, and you're confusing them because your marketing hook is not true. It doesn't work. It gets them in the nightclub though. Forcing yourself to do things that don't fit your interests. This is the key to what they're saying sometimes is you're being forced by the they, which doesn't exist because it's you adopting it as true. That's your decision, not theirs. They're just going to keep marketing to you if you keep buying and showing up in line and liking and commenting, all that stuff. Forcing yourself to do things that don't fit your interests and divide your work from life, your life. They're giving you these ideas. It doesn't exist, but these people are saying these things to get you in their nightclub, their business funnels, their companies, their like them or whatever they're doing. And how do they know? So these pronouncements. It's all about effort. Well, it depends. Is it? It depends what day it is, and it depends where I'm at, and it depends who I am, and it depends what I care about, and it depends. You don't even know what fits my interests, and why are you saying something like this anyways? Well, we know why. I just explained it. Um, and you don't have to listen. It's completely